What's going on, y'all? Man, it's LA Rich, and we back with another video, man. And look, today we got the one and only Charlie Kirk back on the channel again with him doing a video titled Charlie Kirk doesn't understand. Socialist doesn't understand simple economics. Now, I want to see if this one is going to be a combative college student or what. We're gonna find out though. But before we get into the video, what I want to say is thank y'all so much for helping me hit 13.5 thousand subscribers. We on the road to 13.6 now. I appreciate y'all so much for all the love and support y'all show me every single day. It truly means the most to me. Nonetheless, we gonna go ahead and get into this video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know some more videos to watch, whether it's from Charlie Kirk or anybody else, and I got y'all with it, man. But hey, enough of the talking. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I was just agreeing with you said socialism is non-American. So what do you think is pro-American?
Well, let's define what socialism is, right? Socialism is the government confiscation of private property. It tends to be the rule of the few, not the many, even though they profess to say it's the rule of the many. But the American, let's just say, economic tradition is private property rights, markets with proper restraint, entrepreneurship, the ability to flourish, trade, create new products. Socialism disincentivizes almost all those things. Socialism is built largely on envy and greed. And hilariously, the people that push for socialism, the rank and file, they don't realize that socialism actually just creates an oligarchy. It doesn't actually create a strong middle class, what they allege, to want.
So do you believe in taxes?
Ideally 10% across the board. Yeah.
Okay, so you believe in the confiscation of people's private property?
At some point it depends on if it's private property income or if it's necessary to fund government services.
But that's still a confiscation with a gun through police if you don't pay.
At around 10% to fund public services,
but you just
the military.
Find socialism as taking private
Well, hold on.
property.
The average tax rate in a socialist type environment, and even this country, is what, 55%?
Yeah, but I'm saying taxes in general. That's private property.
So
being taken
taxation
from
is
people who earn
theft.
that money.
I fully acknowledge a moderate form of something I hate in order to fund a government, police, firefighters, EMT as necessary.
But that's still government confiscating
private
property,
yes.
which you said was socialism.
Yes, but you vote for it and you agree with it. I'm not an anarchist.
Why do I
never
agree?
have been.
Well, I'm an anarchist. I say any form of government existence is
that's
socialism.
Fine. Have you ever called the cops?
No, I don't believe.
Okay,
I don't like cops. They don't like me.
Okay.
Come on, man. This is when people just, there's no need to lie at that point. If somebody comes, say you were to get shot, you were to get robbed, anything like that, you mean to tell me you not calling the police? Be honest. I get you trying to prove your point and everything, but at a certain point it gets to, come on, man. Like, you're not even being real at a certain point.
You ever gone to the hospital?
No.
Okay, well, one day when you go to a hospital or you use a social service you paid
I'm saying
for.
you define socialism as a confiscation of private property, and you're saying that you believe in taxes, which is a confiscation
Okay,
of private
further.
wages.
Let me go for the unreasonable confiscation of private property, the elimination of private property altogether. You can have a 10%
that's
tax
communism.
rate.
That's not socialism.
Well, they could be conflated. One is a gateway drug to the other.
Okay, but the middle ground
Lenin said
is
that socialism is a precursor to communism.
Okay, but they're still different. If it's a gateway drug,
they're both
weed.
garden varieties of Marxism. Would you agree?
I agree with that. But I'm saying weed is not meth, so let's talk about weed. That's still a confiscation. If you're saying it's a confiscation, of
one is better, one is worse, and one is
but if we're talking about socialism,
more lethal.
You defined it at the beginning as the confiscation of private property.
Yes, correct.
It's also collectivized use. Do you believe in public schools?
No, ideally, I think they should be more community-based and more in volunteerism.
Okay, but you believe in them in some level, right?
Well, again, this is overly abstract and academic. We live in a society where we have government schools, we have public schools, so we could talk about what we want.
I know,
or
but,
what is
if we're talking about what is anti-American, what is pro-American, in the existence of what you say is American, would you say public schools are part of being American? Would you say that's
well,
part
no, they
of
are. The public school system was started by John Dewey 100 years ago. We survived without it for quite a while.
What was it? During the signing of the Constitution, which the Federalists strongly supported, they were part of federalism was having a strong central government.
But
I would say it sounds like
Federalists
socialism
today would be like libertarians.
Okay,
just so
but
that's
still a strong.
They wanted a
central
small
government.
but strong
But
federal
strong
government.
central government still sounds like socialism to me.
See, this is very sloppy intellectual thinking. That just because we want a police force, a border patrol, and we want clean streets, all of a sudden we become a socialist.
But those are still social
There is a
services.
spectrum between small and strong government and like Soviet-style communism.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about socialism.
Right.
And
so
as you define socialism,
not
it's a
every
confiscation
form of
private
government
property.
is socialism. Would you acknowledge that?
No, I don't.
Okay, then.
But you defined at the beginning of this.
intellectually lazy.
No, you defined at the beginning of this as
I
offered a definition.
I've
as
offered offered more
socialism was the
nuance to that.
confiscation
I will
of private
say
property.
it is the unreasonable confiscation of
But what? How do we
of wealth.
define reason? What is unreasonable?
That's up to the politics to do. I'd say anything above 10%.
Well, how do you define? So
I
above
said 10%.
10%.
Where I get it from the Bible. Makes sense. 10%
Okay.
10% of what you earn, 10% of what you have goes to either to tithe or to God or to some sort of taxation system.
So just based
Again,
on
that's
the Bible,
my position. We can
your
disagree
position,
on that.
Okay, so your position is based only at 10%. At 11%, it's now socialism. It is socialism.
No, I'm not saying it's socialism. It gets close.
Okay,
It gets further.
he's nitpicking too much into what Charlie is saying, man. I mean, if he's being reasonable, yes, he can say he's obviously saying that socialism is where they're taking away something in which a citizen or a person owns, your private property. But he's being reasonable about it. He doesn't just mean that the government just, we just can't give up any money to the government. I mean, at the end of the day, we are staying here. But it's to a certain extent where it's like, okay, let's be realistic. 10% is a number that, it's pretty realistic, and it's reasonable. He's making it seem like Charlie that's just going against what he's saying. It's just being realistic, man, at the end of the day.
Away from what it is.
Where's the line? What is socialism?
What is the taxation line? How about this?
If
Socialism is you cannot own the property that you desire.
But you're talking about me being intellectually lazy. I'm saying let's have a stringent definition.
Let me actually give you a real example.
Socialism.
California is more socialist. Texas is less socialist. That's a spectrum.
But I want
Would
to
you
know
agree with
when
that?
does socialism begin and when does it end? And I'm saying you're saying
it's
that some level of socialism.
It's not like an entrance
but
into
if you're
Narnia.
Saying, if you're
it's like
saying
I'm all of a sudden
socialism is
here.
anti-American, I'm saying
it's a
socialism
spectrum.
is a part of America.
Okay, so you want to know when socialism begins and when it ends?
Yeah.
When you leave the free state of Florida and you enter the unfree state of New York.
What's the tax rate in Florida then?
0.
No,
the income tax in Florida is 0.
You still have to pay taxes, though.
Federal taxes.
You still have to pay federal taxes.
No corporate income tax, personal income tax.
But you still have to pay federal taxes. So if you have to pay taxes at all, it sounds like Florida's a socialist state.
So are you trying to say America's currently socialist?
Yes. That's
okay,
what I'm saying.
I would agree. We're going more in that direction. So,
but you were
socialism
saying
socialism is beyond taxes, though.
But wait, you just said that America is socialist, but you said Florida's not socialist. So Florida's part of America. That doesn't make sense.
Hold on, but you pay 20% more taxes here in California than you do in Florida. Yes,
but they're both socialist.
No, but the federal project right now is more socialist than it is free market. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
But in Florida, you get at least some gasp of liberty and freedom that you do not have. In California, if you're a top income earner, you're not paying 15% in addition to a 38% federal income tax rate. That's 53%. That is the government owns a majority of your labor.
Yeah.
So to be even more clear, the closer you get towards the government owning a majority of your labor and your goods, the further and further closer you get to socialism. California is that.
Yeah.
Now, I would love for the federal government to get rid of FICA tax, to get rid of, the excess income tax. I've been clear. I think 10% across the board, fine. We need a military. You might not agree. We need a police force. We need a border patrol. We need basic social services that are a safety net, not a hammock. But I do not believe in this over-the-top type taxation. If you want to talk about other types of taxation that everyone here is paying, it's inflation.
But
when you borrow $2 trillion a year, you do not have, you're getting 10% poorer every single year. I'm going to get to the next question because you keep on saying the same thing over and over again. But final point.
I don't understand how you can say that socialism is anti-American when even the most pro-American, I think as you would define, would say Florida's pretty pro-American?
Yeah, I mean, they have no income tax.
But the thing is, if they still have taxation,
no, they have. They're part of the federal government.
If taxation is part of America, and it always has been.
But no, it hasn't.
Always been part of America.
So since you're such a wise guy, how did we fund the government for the income tax?
Through taxation, but I say that's socialist.
Tariffs. We didn't have an income tax till 1917. So I'm going to get to the next person. You should do more studying on American taxation, and there's a spectrum.
I think you should define socialism more
Not
strongly.
every form of government is.
I just feel like I mean, if a certain place is less socialist than the other, he's just making it out to be like, if Florida has zero income tax, right? Well, not income tax, but just zero taxes in general. The taxes that they have coming are from the federal government. Obviously, Florida in itself is less than all the other states around. You get what I'm saying? As far as taxes and being a socialist state or whatever, it just gets to a point where it's like, man, it's nothing we can do. They're a part of America. Of course, there's going to be taxes still. Like, it's a state in America. It's going to be taxes regardless. They can't take away everything. But come on, man. Let's see what the people in the comments saying. I'm an anarchist, pays $20K a year for tuition and an education. Why is he in college? Shouldn't this little anarchist be off the grid, living off the land? The young guy benefited from everything America has to offer in education. He's never called the cops because he probably lives in a really nice neighborhood with his mommy and daddy. He made that call to police, went to the hospital, but he uses roads, went to public schools, funded by taxes. If he hasn't called the police or gone to the hospital, he hasn't lived life at all. Ignorance is a bliss. My point exactly. First off, so when you were born, since we getting deep into it like that, where were you born at? Did your parents did they birth you at home, or were you born in a hospital? I would bet nine times out of 10, not even 9.9 times out of 10, I would say he was born in a hospital. So actually, you were at a hospital if we being technical like that, man. But hey, thank y'all so much for helping me hit 13,500 subscribers. We're up to 13.6 now. I appreciate y'all so much for all the love and support y'all show me every single day. It truly means the most to me. None of that's gonna go ahead and close out the video. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's LA Rich, and I'm getting up out of here, man. Alright, y'all.
I just got the race, I boost it up, cause I'm not real. Shooter ready, go there, ready, blaze, they hit up everyone. Every time I did a give a shit, I still ain't number one. And my pockets filled with money, bitch, like fucking.